Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome to the brand new PMDG 737-700. The aircraft has just been released for Flight Simulator 2024 via PMDG's website, and as always it is also going to appear on Marketplace in a little bit of time. Owners of the Flight Simulator 2020 version of the PMDG 737-700 are entitled a 60% discount, so that you basically just pay for the new features that have been added, which in this model definitely is the highlight of the external model, which has been completely remodeled. Which doesn't mean that every single polygon has been redeveloped, by the way. It simply means that the airplane has seen an entire overhaul. Which has been completely remodeled and now been added to the aircraft. Of course, the other versions of the PMDG 737, namely the 600, 800 and 900, are also going to get this external model with an update in the future. Now, apart from that, the aircraft features the usual items that you would expect from a PMDG 737, and it also comes with 3 additional versions on top of the 700 passenger version, which are the Boeing business jet, which has an incredible range of some 5,000 to 6,000 nautical miles, depending on the number of auxiliary tanks that you install, and it also comes with 2 freighter versions of the aircraft, one of them converted by Boeing, the other one by a third-party company, which come with their respective differences in the cockpit layout, some of the instruments, etc. So, let's go ahead and have a look at that new external model. I am going to do a separate video doing a full walk around where I'm going to tell you exactly what to look out for when you are checking the external model prior to each and every flight, but let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, getting really close up, you can see that all the rivets and everything have really gotten a high detail update and are now present on the aircraft in a full level of detail. Also note how the radome is looking a little bit different than the main panel, since it's made out of different material. The wheel well has also seen huge updates over here with a great amount of detail added. Now likewise, if you walk along the aircraft, you will notice that everywhere along the plane, note that you can also operate the door using the door handles and all that lovely kind of stuff. So the PMDG 737's really seen a great overhaul there. What I personally really like is the look at the windows, as you can really see a good amount of detail over at them. Now from here, we could go ahead with the standard walk around, but there's really one thing that I want to show you that's been added with this update. And that is what we can find straight down in the wheel well. So let's quickly go in there. The wheel well's really seen a great quality update here, and even things like the hydraulic reservoir pressure indicators that you can see over here, or if we go on to the other side of the aircraft, you will see the fire extinguisher bottle pressures, which are things that you do check on the daily walk around. So looking up here, we can see the pressure indicators on the bottles and all that good kind of stuff. Now, apart from that, you can really just see it's a fantastic looking model now. You can also operate things like the external air stair controls down here that you can control to externally retract the air stairs if you're not using the standard PMDG ladders and all that good kind of stuff. So that's the new model. Now, going inside, this is something new for those of you coming from the FS 2020 version of the aircraft, and that is the passenger cabin. Now, this is similar in a fashion as to what we had already seen on the other releases. For those of you who haven't, 3 different versions of the passenger cabin are available. Number 1, the model that includes the business class, which just looks absolutely fantastic over here. Typical continental business class, not an intercontinental one, of course. And then we got standard economy class model available in 2 different versions, which are the standard passenger density and the high passenger density. Apart from that, you can control all the cabin lights, all the good stuff from the flight attendant's control panel. You also have things like opening head bins and so on. Now, in the flight deck, the typical FS 2024 PMDG editions have been done with things like the flight bags, like the pilot's coach, like things like the high-vis vest from your first officer. You also have a lot of clutter that you can place in the aircraft and so on. First officer is present in the aircraft, and apart from that, all the new stuff that have already been seen with the other releases, like the new glare shield type, the new clock, and the new FMS model, which you can trigger from down here, going into the aircraft equipment. Down here you can choose the new FMS type, are also all present in the 737-700. Overall, a fantastic looking model, a fantastic looking aircraft, and available now at a 60% discount for owners of the FS 2020 version. Well guys, now I would like to add two more things at the end of this video, and the first one is that a couple of you have obviously been asking, so why exactly does PMDG have to add new things like the cabin with new aircraft rather than simply doing them for the first version that was originally released? The answer to that is development efficiency. So if you are working on a new version of the aircraft anyway, it means that the modelers are working on the plane anyway. For this reason, they will first develop something new for the latest type that is to be released, and then port it to the previous types beforehand. As a result, we are getting more aircraft more quickly, and therefore we can all enjoy those planes more quickly. Obviously, the free updates for owners of the other version of the aircraft are always going to become available at a slightly later point in time, or in many cases even at the same time of the release of the new type. Now, apart from that, I just quickly want to address a second topic, which is something that I get asked a lot. In my intro to the PMDG 737 videos, I always say that I'm a PMDG tech team member or a technical advisor, whatever you want to call it. Now, what exactly is that? Let's quickly talk about it, because some people tend to say that I would be employed or get money from PMDG or something, which is complete nonsense. I don't. I really just do this because I enjoy doing it and because I myself want to get the best possible Boeing 737 add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator, where PMDG is the obvious address to support. Now, what do I do? Well, as a former Boeing 737 pilot, I have a lot of insight on the actual aircraft and on many small things. For example, the gauges in the wheel well are something that I've suggested on this very latest external model. You know, things like the hydraulic quantity gauge and the fire bottle extinguisher pressure. So that's something that you would really only get from pilots, and that is why PMDG knows that the only way to get an airplane that is as accurate as possible is by having real-world pilots, current or former. At the time I joined the PMDG tech team, I was still a current Boeing 737 pilot on their team to advise them on the new models. Now, I am doing that completely free of charge. I don't get any money for it. Obviously, it would be nice if I did, but hey, let's be fair over here. I gain a better 737 from it, and that's really why I'm doing it. I don't get any money of it, regardless what the guys on Reddit are saying. Alright then, and yeah, that's pretty much what's behind that tech team member. Then of course there are beta team members as well, who do typically not have insight on the actual aircraft. For example, I'm on the beta team of the 777, which I do not have real-world experience on, but where I can still help out with a lot of my flight simulator experience and of course real-world flying experience in general as well. And that's the two types of volunteers that you have. None of those get money for what they're doing. They're simply doing it for the passion of getting the best possible flight simulator product. Alright guys, and that's it. That's the PMDG 737-700 for Flight Simulator 2024. Head over to the PMDG store or wait a little bit until it's going to be released on Marketplace, as it is definitely going to come there. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, now forget about that. Just head over to PMDG and get that aircraft. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the full walk around video.